You know, so if you have limited space, I mean, you know, people say, I have 80 fruit trees in your yard, you know, but really it's just, and I don't do the 4-in-1 hole, but I just cram them in there. In a couple years, like I said, we'll be messing. He has low chill variety, he has his picks, so, you know, you could take one and copy it and guys look at it, but the coolest thing is the successive planting, you know.
Yeah,
And that's the same thing too with, you know, if you want a lot of one type of vegetable, you know, generally you can't plant it all at one time. You gotta plant successive plantings every couple of weeks. So for most plants.
Okay, I have a question. I just bought some herbs for my kitchen window, basil and parsley. I still have them in its original pot, and it's doing really good because I water it every day in the morning, like maybe 9.5 inch. I'm really afraid to take it out of its original pot and put it with the
What kind of pot is it in?
It's just from Home Depot. You know,
So it's like a 4-inch pot.
yes.
Is it a plastic pot?
Yes.
Or, okay. Yeah, I mean, when you take it out, basically what you do is massage the pot before you take it, water it before you take it out, and then massage the pot so it comes out easy. Turn it upside down without breaking the roots. Don't put your fingers around around just where it comes out of the soil, the stem there, and then just massage it and squeeze it and it'll pop out. And then the roots will be root bound, and so massage the roots to loosen them up, pull them out a little bit, and then just put a hole in, and you know, say you have a pot like this, only smaller, fill it with soil, and then just put a hole in and...
oh, well, I want to keep it in my kitchen window.
Yeah,
but
so obviously a smaller pot than this. You wouldn't want you want a smaller pot than this, but at some point you just transplant it into a bigger pot.
How much of the potting mix should I put in, like an inch or 2 before I drop the original?
Put as much potting soil as the pot will hold, and then only leave enough out so that size of, so the plant will fit into it.
Okay.
But it's very important when you pull it out of the pot to massage the roots and pull them out. You think you'll hurt them, but I've had plants die because a root in a pot, the roots will go around the pot, and so it circles there, and then you put it in the soil, and the roots have already trained themselves to just go in a circle, and they never go out into the soil. So you need to, and that's true with any plant. I mean, if it's really root bound, take a knife and score the sides, and then put some mycorrhizae on it, and it'll go like crazy. Don't be afraid. Plants want to live. I mean, that's the thing. I oftentimes get distressed plants, and 90% of the time I can bring back a plant that's almost dead. Because plants want to live, so it's hard to kill them. Just remember, you kill them by overwatering them more than anything else.
Do you know anything about orchids, white orchids?
Yeah, a little bit.
I have one that it bloomed, but then the flower, you know, it broke down. How, it still needs the original plastic pot. I'm almost afraid to take it because the roots are kind of really long.
You need to put it in, you need to get in an orchid pot, because they need lots of air, and you need orchid bark or...
There's an orchid pot?
Yeah, it has holes in it. And orchids need a lot of moisture, humidity in the air, so you want a pot that has a tray that will hold and keep water in that tray all the time, and the water will evaporate and keep the humidity up around the orchid, and it'll be better.
Should I just use, I saw some in Home Depot, there's just soil just for orchids?
Orchids, yep.
Okay.
See, but there's soil for orchids, and there's bark for orchids. It depends on the type of orchid you have. And I don't know what kind you have, so look it up on the internet and see if it wants bark, soil, orchid bark, or orchid soil. Most orchids want this, they sell want the bark. And yeah, the roots go, yeah, it's cool, orchids are cool.
And I have to also get orchid feedings?
Yeah, you should, just get the orchid fruit that you see in a store, because they don't really, it doesn't work with organics for orchids in a home environment. And then you just water them, I like orchids every 2 weeks. Yeah, during the growing season every 2 weeks, then you slack off during the dormant season. Depends on the type of orchid you have.
I love the flowers, sweet peas. So
Yes.
I just give up on it for here.
No, sweet peas are perfect for...
Every time I plant it, it never goes anywhere.
Well, when do you plant?
Well, I was always told you're supposed to plant them on St. Patrick's Day.
When's St. Patrick's Day? I'm
March
terrible.
17th.
March 17th.
See, here...
But that was in Colorado, so maybe.
See, here plant them in the fall,
Oh.
and then those sweet peas are just like sugar snap peas, yeah.
Okay.
So, and
The
they will
flowers
survive the
the same
winter,
as-
and then in spring they'll pop.
I love sweet.
I get a lot. I put them in a pot. And the leaves were there and they were green, but I don't get any flowers.
Yeah, but by March, see, it's getting too hot for it. I mean, it depends on the march, of course, but,
But
and also it depends what you're feeding it, because NP and K, remember, if it has too much nitrogen, and that's the thing we didn't talk about, basically the rule for NPK, which are the 3 most important nutrients, N is top growth, so if you give it a lot of nitrogen, you'll never get flowers. P is bottom growth, and K is all around health and vigor. That's why oftentimes, like my pineapple, it hasn't produced any pineapples yet. It's about a year old, so I have to give it some phosphorus to get the fruiting going. Or the potassium. Potassium and phosphorus are fruiting. Anyway, so
Well, that,
hope this is worth your time.
thank
Yes,
you so
very,
much. I
very
really
sure.
appreciate
If you
it.
come and don't,
Thank
Very,
you.
very good.
good job. You come and don't. You can't take everything because some of this I need. But take 1 or 2 things.
Just so you know, our next class, not next week, the week after, the 4th Thursday, it's on homesteading. So if you're interested in animals and how to kind of incorporate animals, even in your own backyard, if you want to just start with chickens in your backyard, you can do that too. So that will be next, our next class. Thank you, JD, so much.